Welcome to another Conversations Different, the podcast of the Santa Fe New Mexican, focusing on interesting people and places of northern New Mexico. This week we are talking about higher education. With us are Dr. Bob Martin, president of the Institute of American Indian Arts, and Dr. Becky Rowley, president of Santa Fe Community College. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Inez.
Thank you, Inez. It's great to be here.
So tell me why you're here together. Let's start with that. Becky, or Dr. Rowley, I should say.
Becky.
Let's be professional.
Well, we are here because this is the third consecutive year, Bob, that we have done a joint open house. So in September, we will be doing open houses at the same time on the same day and showcasing our programs, our facilities, welcoming community members, prospective students, and showing everybody around and what we have to offer.
I like that. So, Dr. Martin, what will people see when they get to the Institute of American Indian Arts?
Well, our open house, September 19th, is scheduled from 1 to 5. And I just wanted to say, the campuses are so close, it makes a lot of sense. And people should be able to visit both open houses. In fact, we're encouraging that. But ours starts at 1 o'clock, and we're going to start with some hors d'oeuvres, our appetizers and refreshments, and a little short welcoming program, and people will be able to get the schedule of where things are happening, and there'll be a map, and there'll be our admissions. We'll have a table there, as well as advancement and continuing education and academic dean, and we'll be trying to share information not only about our undergraduate programs, but our graduate programs as well. Right. But then they'll have the opportunity to see studio demos, classroom demos. And, one of the favorites is Raku ceramics.
Nice.
Ancient Japanese technique. And one of our faculty really knows that process. And so that'll happen, as well as, of course, we'll have demos of in the classrooms. But all of our studios will be open, printmaking, all of it, and we invite the people in. And then a favorite always is our bronze pour. Yeah. And we have glass blowing. Yeah. That'll be part of it. And so there's a lot of opportunities to see the programs that we offer and to see the students in action. Creativity in action is what we like to say. And they'll be available and being able to meet with people that come in. And we'll have tour guides. People can schedule a tour if they haven't been to our campus before and would like to see everything. And of course, we're going to have our digital dome demos as well, immersive experience that they can have there. And we'll have films and other things showing on campus, giving all of our programs an opportunity. And as President Rowley said, it's an opportunity for us to showcase our programs and hopefully recruit additional students to our campuses.
And at the community college, what will your hours be and what will people see?
So our hours are from 10 till 2. And as Dr. Martin said, we are very close. My notes tell me that it's a 6-minute drive away.
Yes, unless you're like me and you get lost and go through Rancho Viejo, which I've done.
Adds a bit of time, I've done that myself.
Yep.
But we have a lot of sort of the same format where we will have refreshments, and generally they are hors d'oeuvres that are made by our culinary program. And then art demonstrations are a big focus of what we're doing. So all of our studios will be open to. We'll have students and faculty in those studios, but a lot of the same types of studios. Raku firing, printmaking is a big one for us too. And then also our sculpture and pottery lab. We also have something called Science on a Sphere, which is a big, 6-foot in diameter globe that's in a small theater that has maps that are live and data from the National Oceanographic Association, so that it can be programmed to show what's going on in different population centers, like how much pollution is being caused in certain areas. It's really it's a very cool tool, and we use it in a lot of tours. Like, kids really like it. So we'll have demonstrations in there, and someone will be showing people how it works and what we can learn from it and how it works. We also have a garage sale as part of our open house.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Last year I seem to remember a lot of hats.
Okay.
So I think every year is a little different with that. And then we'll also take people on tours, feature our fitness center, our film studio, and also our automotive building, which is just a fabulous facility.
My friend's brother is a professor of automotive. Cool. And do they get to see the greenhouses?
Oh, absolutely. The greenhouses are also a big part of that. The other thing is that we will be giving away produce too as part of that. I never can remember which day it is that you can get free produce, but we give away a lot of produce. We grow a lot and we give away a lot.
I spent a lot of time during the pandemic driving my kid, even though he could have driven himself, to water the boxes. He was taking classes, and that was one of his jobs for his internship. And I still cannot get over there's the interior greenhouses, but then there's the outdoor boxes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't know things grew that big. It's amazing.
Really, and around here, to see lettuces the size of what we can grow is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think, one of the open houses, I don't know if it was the big one or if it was just for the program of controlled agriculture, but he got to run the Orno. And it was really exciting because he's like, I don't think I know how to do it. And it started, and all of a sudden, years of watching his grandma at the Pueblo just came in, and he was like, oh, I guess I learned by seeing. And he had a very good time, and he brought home some bread, so I was a happy girl. So anyway, how did you guys work to cooperate? I mean, because so many times colleges are in competition. You want the same students, you want the same grants or money, but you guys are really showing how working together works.
We not only collaborate in terms of serving our students, and President Rowley has some students that have transferred over there. We've had students taking courses at the community college, and we encourage that. But several years ago, we said holiday market, we both do one. If we can work to schedule those at the same time, which can be a challenge. We sometimes have different academic calendars, but this was another opportunity after holiday market to collaborate on our open houses. And I know several years ago that there were busloads of people that were going to both. They would go to the community college and then over at our campus, and they complement each other. And I think it was a great idea, and we hope to continue it.
I like that. And on that note, we'll take a quick break and be back again with Conversations Different.
Are you dreaming of a home of your own in Santa Fe but feel like it may never happen? Homewise is here to help. We are a local nonprofit that has helped close to 7,000 New Mexicans from all income levels and backgrounds become homeowners. Homewise has everything you need to succeed in home ownership, including free coaching and classes, real estate services, affordable fixed-rate mortgages with low down payments, and down payment assistance to qualified borrowers who meet income restrictions and credit qualifications. We'll be with you every step of the way. Get started today on your path to owning a home. Call 505-983-9473 or visit us at homewise.org. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 188231.
We are back with Conversation Different, talking about higher education. Dr. Rowley, do you think people sometimes forget what a resource we have at the community college in terms of not just, doing your first 2 years before you might go to a four-year college, but also saying, oh my gosh, newspapers are shutting down. I have to go get a new job. I can do 6 months of X and get a decent job, not be in debt, and go off to, feed my family kind of thing.
I do think sometimes that people do forget. One of the things about Santa Fe Community College, and one of the things that I think is so wonderful about our community, is that there is a tremendous diversity in our community. And so I think a lot of people have a connection with Santa Fe Community College for really different reasons, because since we are a comprehensive community college, it sounds like a cliche, but we do kind of have something for everybody. Yeah. And so there are a lot of people who come to us to take courses. They may have, 2 PhDs or something like that, but they continue to come and take courses and learn. And so we welcome those students. But we're really trying to focus our efforts now primarily are on students who maybe are underserved in different ways in our community, but who really do look to us to provide some sort of really high quality training to help them get either a better job than the one that they have now, or they're trying to enter the workforce. And a lot of those, you mentioned short-term programs. And so we are offering more and more 6-week boot camp type programs where they're often non-credit, they're often free, and we are trying to get people into the workforce really quickly and at a job that has some upward mobility.
Right. I think people kind of forget that, and also I don't think they understand like what a draw certain programs are. Mm-hmm. I know during the pandemic, I feel like I took agriculture classes because the computer is in our, common space, and I'm fixing dinner and the class is going on, and, I hear Charlie talking in the background. And the students that were in the classes, they were people from Texas, from other, all over the country, really, studying, and some people who moved to Santa Fe to take those classes. And I just found that fascinating, because I was like, why would anyone want to, move to take a class where they're going to have to get dirty all the time? But they did,
Well, and that program, Controlled Environment Agriculture, as you said, they work with a wide range of people, so they're working all across New Mexico and outside of New Mexico. Charlie actually has some international influence, and we work with the Northern Pueblos and try to teach sustainable growing practices and greenhouse technology. And so it really... And more people are interested in it, as you said. It's not, and it really, when you think about the water issues in New Mexico and elsewhere, I don't see how it can't be our future.
No, it makes sense. And I know that there's a lot of interest in amoebas as well.
Yes.
And that was things you find out, because I'm a reporter, so I'm always thinking of this person could be a story or whatever. And at IAIA, I think some people are always saying, well, why don't you, there's not colleges, 4-year colleges, except for St. John's. And I'm like, are you guys crazy? Because you have 4-year college, you have your master's programs, and then you have certificates. So if someone's an artist, they can go learn how to be a business person too, and market and sell and stay in business. There's so much at your college.
Yes, and we also have continuing ed programs. And as Dr. Rowley said, a lot of colleges are moving toward more short-term training and so on. And so we're doing that through our continuing education program. And that is short-term, and sometimes it's a week long or just a weekend or whatever it might be. And a lot of them are done, of course, online. They're virtual offerings, and so that reaches people in Alaska. And our certificate programs all are offered almost exclusively online, and so we've had students from all over the country getting museum study certificates, and that helps them to, especially for indigenous people, there's a shortage of people for professional jobs, so that's helped to fill a void there as well.
I think, and it's not just what you offer, it's such a beautiful campus. If people haven't been out there, my friend's kid was playing basketball and they used the gym in the summer, and she said, I had no idea it was like this.
Yeah, we've tried to offer classes off campus, but most people will say they would rather register for a class that's on campus and be able to come, even though it might be a longer drive for them.
Yeah. That makes sense, because it really is lovely, and it is a chance to get a professional degree in a setting that you're going to be supported and where people understand you.
Exactly. We are open to, of course, non-natives as well as native students, but our mission is focused on empowering creativity and leadership in indigenous arts and cultures, and so that's always going to be there, and most people find that fascinating to be in classrooms with native students and learning about a different perspective on art or whatever it might be, the subject.
Yeah, my friend's daughter, I was telling you at the break, is a freshman now, and she was saying her math and science classes somehow are hard and related to art. And
yes.
She's like, and I said, well, that's because you're an art major. And she said, I know, but I don't know how they do it. And I said, well, that's what this semester is about. Now, at the community college, so you have degree programs, and some of it's just like your traditional liberal arts kind of thing. Again, you might go on to do something else. And you also have a lot of continuing ed where people come in from the community. So if I'm retired or I'm taking a break from work, what could I go learn and maybe not to get a job, just to improve myself? There seems like there's everything out there.
Well, there really is, Inez. So we also have a continuing ed. It's really, I would call it an arm of the college now. It's bigger than just what I would consider a department. And so within that group, we have continuing ed that purely is more something for regeneration, for creativity. And, sometimes people do take those classes and do end up finding out that you have a hidden talent or something. And, that could be a second career. But there are languages that we offer through that area, a lot of art classes, and then also classes in just different things. Like, for example, we offer bridge classes. We offer my favorite, I don't think that's on the schedule this year, but we had ballroom dancing for dogs.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know about that. Actually,
Well, I know.
Like
when
that
you
one.
hear that, you just kind of can't forget it. Anyway, so a very wide range of courses. Some that are, just a weekend class that'll be over a political topic or something to do with music or history, taught by people who they're experts in the field, maybe because of having a degree, but oftentimes it's because they've worked in the area and they just have a lot of great experience to share.
Oh, that's so helpful for students. And what I found interesting is how the best teachers adapted the online model. I think it was Mr. Sicko, Professor Sicko. He's retired now.
Yes.
But he taught American history, again, during the pandemic. I'm making my supper. And that was one of the best history classes. And, I took a ton in college, and I have a political science master's degree and minor in, and I was just like blown away at how thorough it was and how hard it was in the best way.
Well, that, I think we all kind of knew this before the pandemic, but we've really embraced online education as a result of the pandemic. And online education done well is really, really good. So we can include all of the elements that you would have in a traditional class. There are recorded lectures, there's interactivity, all kinds of assignments. There's all sorts of tools that are built into the platform that the course uses that in some ways make it easier to do, to really to learn than being in the class where, you're listening to somebody and you're looking out the window or whatever. And, the convenience of being able to attend the class at a time that works for you. This is something that we have found for our working students, which is most of our students, that, you can't take a class at 2:00 in the afternoon, but you can choose to view the class, to listen to the lectures, to communicate with other students at 9:00 at night after you put your kids to bed. And so that flexibility just opens doors that people have never really thought about, I think, before.
No, and I tell everybody, if you need to get your basics because you don't want to go into debt for college, send your kid there, get them through, and they will learn as much as they learn anywhere. And on that, I'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment with Conversations Different.
Thanks, Inez. This is Patrick Dorsey, publisher of the Santa Fe New Mexican. We hope you're enjoying this episode of Conversations Different with Inez Russell Gomez. Great local content is only possible with a talented staff dedicated to bringing you the best local content possible. For that staff to do its work, we need your support by subscribing to the Santa Fe New Mexican. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. And if not, there's never been a better time to subscribe. In addition to our home-delivered newspaper that comes with full digital access, we also provide digital-only subscriptions for SantaFeNewMexican.com. We'll also be releasing more online-only audio and video programming moving forward. The Santa Fe New Mexican has been here for nearly 175 years, and we want to continue being your source for local news and information. Visit us at SantaFeNewMexican.com/subscribe or call us at 505-986-3010. Thank you.
We are back with Conversations Different, discussing higher education in Santa Fe. One of the things, Dr. Martin, that I have been told about your school is how good the food is.
We have Bon Appetit provides our food. We have a contract with them. And when I first came to IAIA and I was facilitating a stakeholder group with our students, that was the main complaint, was the food. And we still have complaints because if you have to eat 14 to 19 meals
At your
a
campus,
week in one place, there's going to be suggestions about why can't you offer this or whatever in the menu. But yeah, our food service is, I think, really good. And we wanted to focus on holistic education, and that's why we built the Performing Arts and Fitness Center for exercise and then the food. And what we found is before, a lot of the faculty and staff were not eating in the cafe, but now there's a lot of interaction and networking that takes place in an informal way during the lunch hour, and that's always good.
Yeah, and that's, I think, an important part of higher education is that you meet other people and you make new friends, et cetera, which is harder at a community college in the sense that you're a commuter school and people are going, you're not living on campus. And of course, during the pandemic, so much stuff closed and now it's reopening. How has the campus been now that you have students in the classes, mingling, that kind of thing?
First of all, we have a lot more people on campus right now. We're, getting to be right around the 60-40 mark, where we have about 60% of our classes on campus and about 40% of them off campus. We also have the master's program on our campus, right. So that certainly adds another dimension of people on our campus all the time. But, people do come and go, and most people kind of race out, go to their class, and then take off again. But we also are having more events on campus, things that'll bring people out to the campus. But we've also supplemented those with a lot more events that are held in a virtual manner, to where we may have a speaker through Zoom or something like that, where we just reach a wider audience doing that. And so we're trying to find the right mix of on-campus and virtual. And that is a work in progress. And I would say that probably most of our peers are trying to do the same thing.
That makes sense. And I know I go out there every time there's a political forum, because you guys are kind enough to open up some of your rooms so that, people can go and it's always interesting to see the people who've never been to the community college, because their eyes are like, wow. And you guys have a lot of musical programs that are for the campus, but also for the community.
Yeah, we have a black box theater and a nice auditorium that we're trying to upgrade the lighting and the sound and everything. So that's an important part. But back to the cafe, and we do have a land grant program, and during the open house, we'll have the land grant gardens open, and people will be able to get some fresh produce and other things. And we also supply our cafe with fresh greens and other vegetables that we grow in either the community garden or the greenhouse as well. And then we have the thunder bees that produce local honey and helps you with your allergies, and we'll be giving out samples of that in straws. Yeah. But one of the exciting things that we're looking forward to is we're having the ribbon cutting for our new building, and it's going to be a mixed-use studios as well as flexible student housing where we can house either individual students or families.
Okay.
And that's going to be a nice addition because a lot of our students, we don't have enough room capacity for everybody that wants one. So it's a real challenge to find affordable housing here in Santa Fe. So some of our students have to go to Albuquerque or whatever, and that's the same thing with faculty and staff, but this is for students, and so that's going to be a nice addition. We had to demolish 16 of our casitas to build that one, and then we hope to add some later for additional rooms later in studio space.
Wow, so one of the things I think that I remember about IA is that it's always adjusting and changing to what's new. So, because talk a little bit about where it started and where it moved, because it was on the campus of the Indian School. Is that right?
Indian School, and then we had to leave there, and the only place we could find to go was at the College of Santa Fe, we were in some of the facilities that they didn't use, and Quonset huts from World War II surplus.
Oh, that are
so
haunted.
That was kind of rough. So the first 38 years we were in temporary quarters, and then in 2000 we moved to our current campus, and that was a priority when I first came to build out the campus, and so that's what we've been working on.
Yeah.
but it's made a real difference in having a permanent campus.
No, it's a beautiful one. And it's kind of the same with a community college because it started with classes at the high school and it was at the business park. And then they built the campus. And now I always wish that William Witter and Edward Ortiz were alive to see what it has become.
Well, I think that they would be probably, I would guess, surprised, but also very proud of what the college has become. It is a lovely facility. I can remember coming out to the college here when I still worked in Clovis as a faculty member, and the view from the campus center, I thought, I can't imagine getting to see that every day when you come to work, and what a privilege that is. So, that made a real distinct impression on me that long ago. And so it is a privilege. I feel like it's a privilege to be able to work in that space.
Yeah, and there was nothing there when they built it because Santa Maria hadn't been built, the housing hadn't been built, and now it's not the middle of town, but it's a lot closer to the middle of town than it was.
Yeah, it really is. And then there's still, more expansion off of Richards going off to the west and everything. So, yeah, we will be surrounded.
One thing that always just annoys me is when people say we don't have enough vocational education. And then I always say, have you ever been to...
That really annoys me too, by the way.
I know. And I wonder, what can we do to get the word out that there's lots of things that people can do that aren't a 4-year degree that will get you a good job and, give you a start up in life. Because we have, the early college opportunities at the public schools, and then there's the community college with tons of stuff.
Well, sometimes I think that there's kind of two things at work here. People that either own those businesses or need those services, we always want more people to go into those trades. Sometimes people want to, sometimes they don't. But I will tell you that there are lots and lots of opportunities because Santa Fe Public Schools does offer a lot. The Echo School has a lot of opportunities in different kinds of trades. We partner with them so that you can start there and finish with us. We have a brand new facility for our automotive technology program. We're ramping up and really doing well with our plumbing and electrical programs. We have new directors in place for those areas that are really very connected to the professional community in these areas, which is really important to really launch trade programs. And then also working with unions to where we can supplement the work that goes on there and make sure that our students have opportunities for getting their hours in and being able to, get those really good jobs when they get out. But there are a lot of opportunities. And so, I would say if somebody was asking for my advice that, if you don't know what you want to do, but you think that you want to do something different, that it's always a good plan. You can't go wrong by contacting our welcome advisor so that we can talk you through what's out there and, let you take some sort of a career inventory and see what you might be interested in.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that way you have kind of a path and a plan and you do it. And I'd be remiss before we go to not talk a little bit about what I think is a renaissance in native writing and the role that IAIA has played. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to be a creative writing student and in the fine arts program at your school right now.
Yeah, it's been 11 years since we started our MFA program in creative writing. So we graduated more than 200 with their MFAs, many of them of publishing. And, of course, everybody knows Tommy Orange. People have been calling me, how can we get Tommy Orange? We want him to be part of this program. But he's very busy with that second book and the commitments he's made for that. And so, yes. With our undergraduate creative writing program, that's been a solid program for years, but now with the MFA, it's made a big difference. And, of course, we've added MFA in studio arts and cultural administration, MFA, which focuses on leadership for museum and arts organizations. So those are making a big difference as well in any country, but definitely the renaissance in writing for indigenous writers. Scott Momaday started it all, but we've certainly continued. We think building on his legacy.
Yeah, when you talk about the museum leaders and the writers, it's basically indigenous people get to tell their own stories. whether
Yes.
it's on the page, whether you're doing a movie, or whether you're telling the story in a museum setting, which is such power to take back.
And I think both of us, both the community college and IAIA film, that's
Yes.
an important part here, and to support the industry, and our students are doing really well and getting jobs. In fact, some of the faculty complain that they're leaving before they graduate for a job, but that's what they're looking for. So we have to support that as well.
Yeah, I think some of the best movies and television of the last few years have been about Indigenous topics by Indigenous people. And if you haven't seen Fry Bread Face and Me yet, you should watch it. It's on Netflix. And boy,
I've seen it.
Isn't that
Excellent.
the best movie?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, it's about going home to see your grandma.
Okay.
And it just happens to be out in Navajo land, but it's just a lovely, lovely movie.
It's biographical of the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Very
that's-
much so. I did want to mention that the complete schedule of open house events will be at our website, iaia.edu/open house.
And where will they find community college events?
The same thing for ours, sfcc.edu, and we'll post it right up on our homepage so that you won't even have to look for it.
Oh, I like that. Okay, and on that note, this has been another Conversations Different. We'll be back next week.